While Ann Cairns' man was entered to Joe Biden at the Planet Economical Message Board, WEF, in Davos, the ex-US defect CEO estimated how he was the execution he was intended to be meet. But Mrs. Cairns is the defect president at finance services gigantic MasterCard, not her man. She laughs as she recalls the occasion and gestures furiously at her self-proverb, "I was thought, it's me, I'm the one thou re there to view." It was an lightweight error to do, she admits. Her man, a retired geographical location tutor, is high and formidable, the stereotype picture of a lead. At 5ft4in, 163sm, Anne is comparatively brief or, of year, a female. It may be 2019, but above a year following Me Too rotated quickly of a campaigning versus sex oppression and sex attack in a more extensive motion allocation sort disparity, slight seems to include modified. Elder female at the top of world companies love and are yet uncommon. The year at the yearly collection of the policy and industry planet elitists, fair 22% of audience are female, up of 20% 2 year back. Advance is morbidly sluggish, in spite a quote framework for big firms how forces them to give one female for each 4 persons man audience. It's an disbalance how reflects the position in the more extensive enterprise and policy planet. At MasterCard, one pragmatic way the business has tested to change perceptions is by standardizing fatherhood and motherhood keep globally. Entered 2 year back, men are titled to 2 months on complete pay by the schema, and female, 4 persons months. Statistic of its at first year in 2017 showed 70% of the keep accessible to men was undertaken up. Questions above if who due to be equipped may get period off for family now used to both of men and female. All is in the identical ship, says Mrs. Cairns. She begun out in industry as the at first woman engineering to job on offshore oil and gas drilling equipment in the UK. In spite the sluggish advance, she says firms are address disparity more than efficaciously rather than in the history. Critically, instead of a female sermon to the chorus at woman-only network events, men are creature implicated in the debate more than frequently. It's a change she believes will very assist driving changing. 5 year back, at Puff Computational gigantic Salesforce, head execution Mark Benioff surveyed why down there were so few female at elder control meetings. He later insisted how a tertiary of the personnel visiting must be woman. The change switched Cindy Robbins, who treated in the HR division, to encounter Mr. Benioff and propose an equivalent pay auditing, thing that is not obligatory in the US. While Mr. Benioff requested her if they had a issue, she told she didn't aware. It's been an costly calculation. So far the company has paid on $9 million, £7 meter, to though out the gap through its 33,000 powerful labor. Salesforce has now made the auditing 3 times, recent year as well looking at racing and ethnic origin. We're hard to get superior at it each year. Except you can say yours processes are ultimate, it will never be fully allowed, says Ms. Robbins, who is now the company's head human beings official. Time largest human beings suppose they are not biased and do equitable decisions, she says provided difficult information has been a strong motivation for changing. As the yearly pay auditing, the company now collects figures on the sort break of promotions and new hires. However, Salesforce, largest technology companies, remnant man dominated. At the end of recent year, less than rather than a tertiary of its personnel were women, in spite employing 4,000 female. Barry Rafferty, the head execution of World Social Relations company Ketchum, says she's amazed how the battles she mind would include ended in her mom's general, are ongoing. She says conclusion out the true on yours organization, quite rather than which you believe is the true, is essential. Each organization is necessary to halt and get a see at their civilization and not underestimate any concerns, she says. Ketchum himself has created an foreign consultative executive board to give in crisp consultation and understanding in its civilization. It as well conducts routine brief surveys of personnel on how they sense on promote opportunities, pay in, and the company usually. We all aware the instinctively, says Sheila Penrose, president of characteristic company Jones Lang LaSalle, JLL, and a donor to WEF's order of business. Yet while you can action it and articulate it during the organization, it becomes a more than irresistible reason. At Davos, she says sort equity has been embedded in more extensive subjects about formation and the next of job, a change of the effusion of wrath following Me Too that she believes will show more than structural. Now she says men at firms include to be readily to put their repute on the link to enhance the position. Female tend to be above mentored and by sponsored, she says. In some speech, female tend to be taking into account consultation quite rather than opportunities. In spite all the sad statistic, down there is one how suggests the next may not be rather so grim. The year at Davos, above part of the as-called youthful world leaders, 100 human beings by the age of 40 guest to WEF every year, are female.